This episode is brought to you by Stouffer's. Here comes 3-time juggling champion Natalia Rogers. She's juggling law school, her TA job. Oh, narrowly catches the laundry. What's that fourth ball? Parents unexpectedly showed up at dinner time? Is that too much for Natalia? Not with Stouffer's Chicken Alfredo and its mouth-watering mix of Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan. When you're juggling 4 things at once and the clock strikes dinner, think Stouffer's.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Blah, 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 blah. See, that's the things that are coming out of your mouth, child. Babbling, insanity, delusions.
You see? You're stupid minds. Stupid.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by 2 really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in a tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve, with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider, gives me street cred with whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
This is a show for people who never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you've got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call. 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine and Dr. Scott WM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcast, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. And now okay. Oh, boy. Don't forget to check out roadie.drsteve.com, roadie.drsteve.com for the Roadie robotic tuner, and Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And I put the completed roast of the Dabbleverse.
Okay.
On our Patreon and also in the members-only section of YouTube. So what this is at dabblecom 2, Jay Daly and I, and with collaboration from everybody, Blind Mike, Shuley, Carl, Anthony, Kaylee, Andy, and producer Chris, and Vinny. Oh, and Jenny Jingles, too. All participated. I wrote a script for the animation that was going to start the roast. And I had Coke Logic take the script and the audio that I sent him, because I had everybody record their parts, and turn it into an animation, right? And it cost me a pretty penny to do this. Coke Logic is very talented. He did the video opening for our show that I didn't get to play today because OBS and Stream Deck are not speaking together. But anyway, they, it's the same guy. So during the show, it froze up halfway through on the live stream. So anybody that watched it on the live stream only saw half of it. And people who were there apparently saw the whole thing because they were laughing at the right parts. And then when my roast set came up, they played something inappropriate that Vinny hit the wrong button, or whoever was running it hit the wrong button. And it played something that Quadfather played on Stuttering John's show for a second, and then you couldn't see me, and there were all these technical difficulties. And then finally, about a minute into my set, they fixed it for the live stream. And that was the only recording I had, was the live stream. So what I did was I took the audio from the live stream, which was fine, and took the original animation and lined it up so that when jokes happen, people are laughing at the right time. And I did the same thing. I took my original video that I sent in without obviously anybody laughing because I did it here by myself and overlaid that over the dabblecom 2 audio.
Okay.
So finally, I did it for myself as much as anybody else, but finally people who want to can see the complete animation and they can see my complete. I only have the rights to my set, so I can't play the whole dabblecom thing, nor would I want to necessarily. But so anyway, if you want to see it, if you want to see your old pal actually, doing comedy, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. If you join as a member, it's 99 cents. You do it, for 1 month and then you cancel it or do whatever you want to do. Or you can go to patreon.com/weirdmedicine, sign up as a member there. And there's all kinds of other crap in there that you've never seen. So anyway, all right. So we've got all that going. Cameo.com/weirdmedicine. I'll say fluid to you, mama, or anything else you want. Some art gallery asked me to do an opening, but they didn't like what I did, so now I got to redo it today.
Jeez.
Yeah, they wanted a more pastoral setting. So anyway,
you can do it.
Simply Herbals, what's going on there?
Oh, nothing new.
Nothing?
No, just a little bit of this nasal spray. And
okay, you still send tchotchkes out, though, right?
Still sending tchotchkes out.
Okay.
'Tis the season for the sneezing.
Yeah, that's true. It's coming.
It's coming. God, it's coming.
You have
quick.
stock?
We've got stock now, yep.
You do?
Yep. So
you're going to continue doing it? You're up and down with this. You don't have anything now. You do have stuff now. You've got new stock.
It's hard to keep balance. You know as well as I do.
Yeah, it's hard to give it up.
And then you buy too much, and then you don't buy enough.
Yeah,
it's
well. So where are you right now?
Sure.
You're in a situation where you bought too much.
No. We just bought a little bit this time. So
okay,
we're just going.
Because I need
slow.
some. I'll place an order today.
Real slow.
Dr. Scott doesn't give it to me free. I have to place an order, but that's fine. I'm happy to support your business. No, for real.
No, I know it's true. It's a friend of mine. She told me one time you'll go broke on your family and friends.
Yes. So I order like 5 of them, and then Dr.
good.
Scott delivers them personally.
Hand delivered.
I don't get any tchotchkes
without tchotchkes, but a smile and a firm handshake.
Hearty handshake.
A hearty handshake.
I always tell people if I meet them, I'll buy you a beer, but if you're sober, a hearty handshake is in your.
There you go.
That's right. All right, very good. Okie dokie. Are you ready to now? For the second show, we will field questions from the Fluid family. So if you want to join the Fluid family, watch our Twitter. It's @WeirdMedicine, usually Sunday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes Wednesday, so you just got to keep an eye on it. The best thing to do is go to youtube.com/@WeirdMedicine and then hit the subscribe, or the subscribe button and the notification button. That way you'll be notified if we go live. And if you join, click join and then click accept gifted memberships. Sometimes Myrtle gives away 10 or 20 memberships. Sometimes King of the Dabbleverse gives away some memberships. So, and then you can go in there and look at that Roast of the Dabbleverse thing. I worked hard on that to reconstruct that.
Sounds like it.
It's like reconstructing a Picasso or something.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
It took a lot of. I had to line all these videos up and get the transitions right and everything so that people could see it the way it was intended to be seen.
Yep.
Because they did not. I spent too much effing money for it to freeze in the middle and people not to get to see the whole thing. Oh, that was irritating.
That's so disheartening.
Yeah, it was very disheartening. But anyway, and I wasn't there. That was why I couldn't yell and say, hey, start this shit over.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
First dabblecom, I did a animation for that for the Dabby Awards. But I was there. I was announcing it. So anyway, there may be a boxing match at dabblecom at Hackmania this year, and I'm hoping I will get to be. Well, they've said if it happens, I get to be the Michael Buffer. So
oh my!
Now you can't yell, "Let's get ready to R word," because if you do, he'll sue you.
Oh my gosh! Really?
He's got that trademarked.
Oh my gosh!
So
that shouldn't be trademarkable, I don't think.
It is.
I mean, I know it is, but it shouldn't be.
That's what can I say? Let's get ready to
rock and roll.
Do some math.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, let's get ready to rock and roll. I think he's got all of that. If you say let's get ready to, he's got it.
Jeez Louise.
So, but Patrick Melton is smart. He'll think of something that I can say that's legal that would be still humorous. So. All right.
Yep.
So we'll see. That is hackmania.com. Offer code JT for, I think, 10% off, something like that.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of weird shit going on. All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right. That's good advice. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Steve, how you doing?
All right, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking, man. Hey, listen, I have the King Arthur's Court Connecticut Yankee question.
Okay.
So, is there a difference between med school in the past and med school these days? In other words, if you knew what you knew today, would you be the most amazing doctor? Could any of us be doctors with just minimal medical education?
Yeah.
I appreciate your thoughts, sir.
Well, let me tell you something. Back in the day, surgeons who washed their hands before surgery were shunned.
They're wusses.
Yep. They were like, oh, that's bullshit. And it was mainly because the doctors who were not washing their hands didn't want to be criticized by these young upstarts. Mm-hmm. But then they found that the ones who were washing their hands before surgery, they weren't using gloves, but they were washing their hands, had better outcomes.
Yep.
And that was the start of sort of scientific, data-based or metric-based, medicine. Mm-hmm. It all came from surgery. So now, admissions have become harder. There was a time when there were no prerequisites. You just said, I want to be a doctor, and you went to medical school. Mm-hmm. If we go way back, like to the late 1800s, it was a wild, unregulated frontier, and you wouldn't recognize it. It was a trade school. Doctors only called themselves doctor because they wanted to have more respectability. So the PhDs were all called doctor back then.
Okay.
Like if you had a PhD in physics or English or something, you were Dr. So-and-so. And the physicians had to fight to be called doctor.
Wow.
Because they had such a bad reputation before that, with the bleeding and the humors and all this kind of bullshit. A lot of the medical schools were for-profit businesses owned by local doctors. And they competed for students by keeping their standards low and keeping the length short. So it was like, come on.
Wow. Wow.
Now, by the 1800s, schools like Penn Medicine began requiring a one-page essay
Oh, geez.
to get in.
Okay.
But that was the exception.
How funny.
It usually lasted 2 years, and the second year was often a repeat of the first year.
Oh, wow.
Just because back then they thought repetition, which repetition is.
Does matter.
It does matter.
It does matter.
It's the only way to make sure that the information stuck. And they didn't have any science. Germ theory was just becoming mainstream in the 1800s. So they learned about humors and symptoms more than anything else. So back in the day, medicine was palliative in the sense that they treated symptoms.
Okay.
If you had dropsy, which we now call congestive heart failure, they gave you foxglove, which we now know had digitalis in it, which might have helped some. If you had headaches, they would give you laudanum, which is tincture of morphine.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Or tincture of opium.
Okay.
They would know that helped. But then, these ladies with their migraines were getting addicted to laudanum and stuff.
Come on.
So they didn't have legal cadavers. So the students and what they called resurrectionists. There's another term for resurrectionist. Do you know what it is? Body snatcher. They would dig up fresh graves to supply
goodness.
these anatomy labs.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, there was a not too long, when I was in medical school, apparently the guy that was over our anatomy lab was also a quote-unquote resurrectionist because he owned a funeral home and was using body parts from the funeral home to sell to. This was it was alleged. I don't know that he was ever convicted of it. But like he'd take a knee off an old lady to send to some ortho lab that wanted to practice operating on cadaver knees.
Wow.
You might look that one up. Look up North Carolina a cadaver case or something, cadaver. Now, the first women's medical college opened in the mid to late 1800s, and Johns Hopkins was one of the first major schools to admit women, primarily because they needed a large donation that was contingent on being coeducational. So they got some rich person said, I will give you a bunch of money, but you have to become co-ed.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. Now, let's see here. There was this thing called the Flexner Report.
Flexner Report, okay.
It shut down half of the medical schools in the United States.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was in 1910. It was commissioned by the Carnegie Foundation, and they visited 155 medical schools in the U.S. and Canada to assess their quality, and they wanted to eliminate what's called for-profit schools and replace them with the sort of university-affiliated scientific model. And they standardized the curriculum to a 2+2, so you get 2 years of basic science with 2 years of clinical training. And they required them to have laboratories and be scientifically rigorous and stuff, which was pretty advanced in the early 1900s. So they had half of the U.S. medical schools either closed or merged by 1935 because they couldn't afford the new standards. And but it was devastating for diversity and minority education because 5 out of the 7 existing black medical colleges were closed. Only Howard and Meharry survived. So they also recommended closing all the medical schools dedicated to women. So it sounds like it was a good thing, but it set blacks and women back in medical education by a generation. So now they did advocate for co-education instead of single interest group So it wasn't all bad. What they did was they encouraged the medical schools that survived this thing to take more minority and women students. But, there is there is something to be said. I mean, there are still women's colleges and there are still black colleges and stuff. And that, this is, there's something to be said for that kind of education. But when it came to medical schools, they were discouraged by the Flexner report. So anyway, homeopathy was wiped out during that because they were teaching that in medical school. So, yeah, things have changed quite a bit.
Yes.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Now, in the 1960s to 80s, matriculation rates hovered around 45%. They're about 36% for MD and DO applicants. In other words, about half of the people that applied got in. Now it's about 1 in 3. Okay. All right. Interesting question.
You think the schools have gotten easier or harder?
No. Well, it's harder to get in.
Well, I mean, as far as the knowledge, the people that you see coming out.
Oh, and I see a lot of dumbasses.
The ones I see coming out, I'm like, holy shit, man.
I will say, though, that the quality of medical students since the 80s, I was a clinical instructor in the 80s.
Okay, gotcha.
We had, in my residency program, we lost a faculty member in the middle of the year.
Okay.
And I was chief resident, so they said, you're going to take over this faculty member's position. Well,
Okay.
I couldn't supervise residents, but I could supervise the medical students.
Gotcha.
So we had all these medical students coming in, so I was now over all of them.
Gotcha.
And I remember thinking there were several groups of medical students that came through. I'm like, how do you not know this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My OBGYN professor, when I was on OBGYN with him, he flunked 2 people and 2 medical students. They did an oral. He forced them to do an oral exam at the end of their rotation because he said they don't know anything, and they didn't know anything.
They didn't know anything, right?
Yeah. He asked them this question. Okay, you have a woman who has a 32-year-old who has bleeding, vaginal bleeding for over a month, and she has to change 3 pads a day. What would you do? And the guy thought for a second. He went, and he very confidently said, yeah, I would do a hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy. Oh, my God. How funny.
And I'm like sitting there going, oh, no. Because I had prepped these guys. I knew he was coming after him. And I said, this is what you got to do. You got to learn this stuff.
Yep. How funny. Oh, my God.
So anyway, now the medical students and the osteopathic students that I see are really almost universally outstanding.
Okay, good.
Really, really good.
Yep.
Like, wow, that kind of good. I've had some from Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, 2 of the best medical students I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
They functioned on the level of a resident.
Oh, wow.
And really, really good. So
Good.
I have,
Good.
I feel good about this upcoming group of physicians that's going to be hitting the market here in the next few years. Because they've really stepped up.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because I think they took a hit during COVID, especially in the training.
Yeah, maybe so.
A little bit, yeah. So
it was huge.
And
I think they should have added another year to their education.
Especially the residents that didn't get to rotate through a lot of the.
Yeah.
I think.
They know a lot about COVID.
No, that's true.
Not that means anything anymore.
Not much, but
we had a few cases, but it's become endemic. For those that want to know, there were 5 coronaviruses that were circulating that would cause common colds, but also would kill a few people every year. About 20,000 people would die from what we called viral or quote-unquote atypical pneumonia. We never tested for it, but we knew it was coronaviruses. Every once in a while, an adenovirus would sneak in or something like that. Well, now they're testing for all this stuff.
Yep.
We have these viral upper respiratory panels, which we never had before because there was no treatment for any of it. So why would you test for it? And, it was just supportive.
Yep.
Well, now we do have treatment for at least one coronavirus. And, we've got the influenza test too, or influenza medication. So they test for all this stuff. And but now what's happened is that the virus that we called COVID-19 has become another one of these circulating coronaviruses. It'll kill a few people. And for the most part, it'll just cause an upper respiratory infection. It's still probably of the upper respiratory infections, it has the capability of making you feel the worst.
Right.
But that's because we still don't have that population immunity. What happens is these kids get exposed to coronaviruses when they're kids. Anybody that's had kids knows they come home, they're sick all the time, first few years of school, because they're just passing these viruses. Well, they're passing these viruses around, and they're passing these 5 coronaviruses around, now 6. And then when they get older, they get exposed to them again. It just causes an upper respiratory infection. It's not that severe. No. And so now instead of 5 endemic coronaviruses, we have 6.
Yep.
And so my prediction early on when the R sub naught, if you remember the transmission number for SARS-CoV-2 was 2.3, most people weren't going to get it. But now it's like 12. So now it's like measles.
This keeps going around and around and around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And what that means, one person will infect 2.3 with the original virus. Now one person will infect 12 people. So now that's how it becomes endemic. It just everybody at some point has either gotten it or will get it. And, it's evolved to the point where the reason it got less virulent is because, its natural desire, this very teleological, I'm assigning meaning to it. It's not really meaning, but just by natural selection, it wants to be more transmissible. Well, to do that, it needs to get out of the lower respiratory tract and work its way up into the upper respiratory tract. And once it does that, then it becomes more transmissible. It also becomes less deadly.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all right. Okay, this is a question for you.
No.
Gentlemen, question for Dr. Scott. Hey, can you compare and contrast Chinese medicine and Ayurveda? Assuming you have the capability. Thank you, sir.
Assuming you have the capability to do that, Dr. Scott.
I don't know if I have the ability to do much of anything.
Well, I can talk a little bit about it because I've studied this at length. I was into Howard Stern and Robin Quivers turned me on to Ayurvedic medicine just when they were arguing about which one of them was Pitta or which one was, Vata and all this kind of stuff.
I don't know it to that detail.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you can talk about traditional Chinese medicine. Sure. It relies on qi and the 5 elements. You want to talk about the 5 elements?
Nope.
Okay. Well, acupuncture.
And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Herbs. Oh, really? Okay. Well, go ahead.
Well, but there's a difference, just like in allopathic medicine, you have your MDs and DOs.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of difference with the approach.
Okay.
And it's very similar in traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
You have the group that does much more of the traditional stuff where they do the 5 elements and they do balancing of the wood and the metal and the water and these things.
Yeah.
And how those relate to the organs. That's not the world I live in.
Is that right?
No,
okay.
I live in the much more westernized world where, when you come in And let's say you send me a patient
Yeah.
to see, and they've got a bad back because they've got prostate cancer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing things for them, but they need a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Then I treat that pain specifically.
Right.
Yeah. I don't go into what's out of harmony in their body, because we know what's out of harmony in their body.
Yeah.
They've got
prostate
metastases.
cancer.
Yeah.
Right,
They got
right,
metastases to the. So I live in a much more westernized world where, I was trained to do the diagnosis of these woods and these 5 elements and the special little points and things of that nature, which I think are really wonderful. And if I need somebody to with that expertise, I've got a friend that actually does that much more that type of Chinese medicine I send to here locally.
Really?
Yep. And he's really good with it.
Is he a DOM?
He is. And he's really great. But he doesn't. But anybody that he needs like the electric acupuncture, the pain medicine stuff.
Sends that to you.
Yeah. The sports injuries he just sends to me, and it works pretty well. Yeah, works pretty well. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
Would you agree with this statement? Ayurveda assigns individuals one of 7 constitutional types called Prakriti, based on doshas, and TCM focuses on diagnosing patterns of disharmony. Does that sound right?
I do. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of disharmony in what we treat. And you remember 100 years ago we started this show, and I was telling you that somebody comes in with GERD, it's rebellious stomach chi.
Right.
And it's from a overactive liver yang. And what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
And all it is, it's just a pattern of someone that is chronically stressed.
Yeah.
Too much. Food,
probably
too much alcohol,
their islet
all
sales,
these things.
right?
Yeah, there's those islet cells, but you got to figure that the liver is overacting.
Yeah,
and it's just causing stress.
Yeah,
you get some gastritis and you get reflux. So that's how it translates.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I do think all of that stuff means a lot.
I think Ayurveda preaches more lifestyle stuff. I mean, that's a big part.
Well, that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, correct. But I
we
think
should
that's
be.
It seems like it's more the basis of their comprehensive sort of approach to things.
Well, I think that's the good foundational way to do it.
Yeah,
is go with the start with the foundation.
Yeah,
and then use modern technology for labs and for imaging and things of that nature.
Yeah,
because that's a really good way to treat people.
That's the essence of integrative medicine.
Yeah, sure is.
Where you're integrating what works in both things.
Yeah, but there's a lot of similarities between Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine. Much more, which is different than homeopathic medicine. Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine are more similar than homeopathic medicine.
Well, yeah, don't give me. Well, I mean,
I'm just saying
we can talk a little bit about homeopathic medicine. The idea that water takes on these characteristics, and so if you have a fever, you find a medicine that causes fever, and then you put it in water, and then you dilute it. So if you pick up a homeopathic medicine that says 32X, that means that it's been diluted 32 times.
Right.
And so you can demonstrate that if you dilute it enough times, there might only be one molecule left of that stuff, but somehow it puts the imprint.
It makes it stronger.
Yeah, right. Somehow it puts the imprint on the water.
Yep.
So now, if someone who practices homeopathy wants to, call in and expand on that, we'd be happy to talk to them about it. All right. Here's a good question.
I hope everybody's doing good, including the Fluid family.
Hey,
kind of had a little
Stacy.
thing popped in my head today. You ever picked up like a piece of paper and you almost instantly realize it is not just one sheet, it's 2 sheets?
Yeah.
How sensitive is the human touch?
Damn good question. How does he come up with questions like that? That's a really good question.
Hey, and
they're all good.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I'll start.
My human touch is shit
diminished
because I have peripheral neuropathy, but I can still do certain things that still would amaze,
right?
A robot trying to do the same thing. Go ahead.
Well, but the reason why you have peripheral neuropathy in your fingers and toes is because you have an increased number of sensory neurons.
Give thyself a
receptors
bell.
in those fingers and toes.
Yep.
So where's the greatest?
There's this thing called the homunculus. Have you seen that?
Yep. No, I was just going to say.
What it is it's a map of the brain.
Oh, yeah, the homunculus.
That shows where the thing has the most nerves, and they'll draw a picture of a person with, if there's more nerves there, that body part is bigger. And so the tongue is huge.
Sure.
The hands are huge.
Fingertips.
Yep.
More than hands.
Yeah. Right.
And so
Go ahead.
I'll give everybody a little test that they can try at home. If you take
foreskins, but the size of a car. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. That's why they remove it, I think. But anyway, you can take two little needles, and I don't want a sharp needle, like a pen or a pencil tip or pen or whatever, and you can take those and you can put those right together.
Yep.
And you can feel two separate little pins on your finger or where else? Your lips.
Yep.
Your tongue.
Yep.
Genitalia.
Yep.
Toes.
Yep.
But
no, not on your abdomen.
But not if you do that on your buttocks, where you sit all day long, or your back, where there's always constant pressure. You have to start spreading those pins, away, until you can actually feel two independent, stimulations. It's crazy to think that.
Interesting, isn't it?
Because when you can have those things an inch apart, and you still only feel one stimulation.
Yeah. Fingertips can detect surface bumps as small as 1 micrometer.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
That's a millionth of a meter. Yeah. That's about the size of a bacterial cell.
Yeah.
And as Dr. Scott said, the lips, tongue, and fingertips, the most sensitive parts of the body. And there's just so many neurons there. Mm-hmm. That's why I can still do stuff. I've lost a lot of neurons, but I can still do stuff because there's a lot of redundancy.
Yep.
Now, there is some research that suggests we can even detect objects without direct contact by perceiving air pressure and movement, like some animals can. Now, if you want to talk about heightened senses, dogs' tongues and noses and all that stuff, and their ears are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's 10 per square centimeter of receptors on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to separate it by 1 centimeter to get.
Yep. And that's if you get it in the right spot, because it's kind of like the weather. It's a 10% chance of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just because you hit that 1 centimeter, you've got it in perfectly because they're not in alignment.
Right.
Because they're kind of random.
Right. Okay. So here's the statistics: fingertips and lips have 100 pressure receptors per centimeter, whereas the back only has 10.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So Dr. Scott's
makes sense.
Right again.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Here's a thing from University of California: the amazing sensitivity of human touch. Oh, and here's one. For the most part, and this isn't always true, you can tell the difference between a fart and a shart. A load, or even a little bit of liquid in your rectum, as opposed to gas. And people say, well, how can you do that? Well, fill your mouth up with water. Is it water or is it gas? Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference if you puff up your so it has to do with temperature. If fluid is a conductor of temperature, whereas air is an insulator, and so we have temperature and sensation. We have friction sensors, all kinds of shit. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Yeah, you can tell the difference between glass, metal, wood, and plastic. Think about that. Mm-hmm. And they have different textures, or they draw heat away at different rates. Mm-hmm. And so,
yeah, it's crazy, isn't
it? Yep. All right. Let's see.
Hey, put some stuff back on YouTube, man. Where's the Oakster? Let's talk about Opie Anthony. Have them on your show. Have them both on your show at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have Opie and Anthony on my show at the same time. Do you know how many times people have tried to do that? And that, of course, that's the wrong outro music. Where is our actual outro music? What the hell? Oh, no, that was the outro music. I'm an idiot. Dr. Scott, I'm losing it.
You're losing your shit.
I'm going to take... So there is a blood test now looking for beta amyloid products that may give you an early detection of Alzheimer's.
Yes, I saw that.
So we finally may have... It's not a screening test. We're not going to use it as a screening test, but if somebody has symptoms, we may use that blood test to say, this may be it.
Sure.
I just did a thing on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, or our YouTube channel. I don't want to sound like Howard Stern, who always said, my show. Oh, what is Fred and Robin and Gary? Are they chopped liver? But anyway... on our YouTube channel, I did a live stream and a short encapsulation of a study that showed that people with Alzheimer's don't get cancer.
I saw that.
And people with cancer don't get Alzheimer's. And what they found was this sort of inverse relationship between the two. And you can go watch the video, but in short, the beta amyloid that causes problems in the brain, when it gets into the bloodstream, it actually stops T cells from becoming senescent. In other words, stops them from becoming old and lazy, and they'll go and kill cancer cells.
Yeah, if people get a chance, they should watch that video. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good, yeah.
So there is a thing called fumaric acid that seemed to stimulate all this stuff, so I'm going to see if there's a supplement of fumaric acid. Maybe I'll start taking it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Fumaric acid?
Yeah, fumarate.
Yeah, I've got some.
You do?
I can hook you up.
Excellent.
I got some stuff.
All right.
I got some juice.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks to everyone who's made the show happen over the years. Continues to be most fun I've had in my 6 decades of experience. Thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website, drsteve.com, for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. And don't forget Dr. Scott's website, simplyherbals.net, if you want to get some tchotchkes. And if you go to stuff.drsteve.com, we have Troy Smith artwork of the quantifier of scat and the club-footed jackass. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, go check out WATP. All right, my friends, until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise, and we'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks.